In this video, I'll be doing a Halloween version of the iodine clock reaction. If you want to see the normal iodine clock reaction, I'll put a link to that in the description. First, I'm getting some sodium iodate, and I'm putting about 0.6 milliliters of that into a beaker that has 80 milliliters of water in it. The two other smaller beakers have 40 milliliters in them each. Now that I've put in all 0.6 milliliters of the sodium iodate and we are done with our first solution, I'm just mixing it so that all of the sodium iodate dissolves. My sodium iodate was a little bit chunky, so it took a lot of stirring to get it to all dissolve. Now I'm getting some sodium sulfite, and I'm going to put about 0.15 milliliters of it into each of the two beakers that have the 40 milliliters of water. These two solutions are going to be pretty much the same, except one of them will have some starch. Now I'm getting some citric acid, and I'm going to put 0.6 milliliters into each of the two beakers that I just put the sodium sulfite into. The reason why I'm having all the chemicals in the two 40 milliliter beakers is the same, other than the starch that I mentioned earlier, is because in the normal iodine clock reaction, starch acts as an indicator for any iodine present. So that's the reason that normally the iodine clock reaction would turn black. However, when you don't put in any of the starch that would react with the iodine to form the black color, then it will take on an orange hue instead, which is the normal color of iodine dissolved in a polar solvent like water. So, by doing it both ways in two different beakers, you can have black and orange, the two colors of Halloween. I have a video about the normal iodine clock reaction, which should be in the description, where I talk more about how the reaction works other than just starch's role, if you're interested in that. Now I'm getting the starch that I mentioned earlier, and I'm putting about 8 drops of it into one of the 40 milliliter beakers, but unlike all the other stuff, I'm not putting it into the other. Now that all 3 of our solutions are ready, I mix them, and I'm now putting half of our first solution with the sodium iodate into one 40 milliliter beaker, and then the other half of it into our second 40 milliliter beaker. As you can see, our solution with starch has turned black, and the one without starch turned orange. Since black and orange are the main colors of Halloween, I think that this could make a great Halloween chemistry trick or activity. Thanks for watching, and happy Halloween!